Second part of when your possessive boyfriend is a psycho who wants to keep you to himself only. Author point of view. The room fell in silence. You can hear your heart drumming to your ears. Tehang was standing with the pointed on himself. Your feet moved to him, and Jimin stopped you by holding your hand. Jimin, let me call someone. Your eyes were on Tehang, who was staring at your hand in Jimin's. You pulled back your hand and went near him. Jan, put it down, Tehang. Ta, you do not love me anymore. Jan, how can you think that? Please stop this. You put your trembling hands on his chest. Jan, please. Ta, you will come with me. He didn't ask, he stated. He was sure. You nodded, and Jimin was shocked. Jimin, you don't need to do this, Jan. Tihung looked up at him and pulled down the. There was a mocking look in his eyes. The people like you cannot separate us. Putting back his, he palmed your face in his hands. The my baby loves me, right? You again nodded with teary eyes. He his one hand around your and his hand squeezed when you did not respond. He parted and looked at your wet face. Ta, it's okay. We can continue at home. Wrapping his arm around you, he walked towards the door. Jimin, Sean, it's not safe. Ta, hey you. Ta, for now just shut up, and for the next time, I do remember your punch. You left with him. You stepped in after him, grabbing a water bottle. He poured the liquid in glass. He sat on the stool and emptied the glass. Jan, Tehang, why you have that? He chuckled. Ta, come here. You moved to him and he closer. Ta, that Jimin. Why was he so worried for you? Jan, you were so outraged. Anyone can be worried. You realized that your choice of words wasn't right. As getting down, he stepped away. Jan, you shouldn't had. Your eyes widened and mouth shut. When taking the glass, he threw it over the bottles. One of them shattered, and the liquid was spilling on the floor. Ta, I shouldn't this, I shouldn't that. Why me, huh? Ta, you loved me like the way I am, and now suddenly you have problem with that. He was yelling. Coming to you, he towered over. Ta, you always tell me to do this and that. Did you tell him that you have a boyfriend? Smell of liquid was strong. Anger radiating from his eyes was clouding your mind. Jan, no, I just. Ta, last night he was in your room, and this morning he was sitting on my place, and you did not bother to tell him that you are mine. He growled in anger and punched in the wall when tears filled your eyes. Jan, you think I am cheating on you? You were sobbing now. Jan, I only love you. How can you? Tears had closed your throat. He sighed. Ta, look here. You did. He whipped away the tears. Ta, go to room, freshen up. I am coming there. You nodded and stepped out. After cleaning the kitchen, he came in room. You were in shower. With a smile on his face, he walked towards the door. You opened it and was standing there in his clothes. Ta, my baby. He lifted you in his arms. Fresh scent of body wash and your wet hairs were blowing his mouth. He pounced you on the bed and ta, my clothes suit you better. Your thumb traced the mark on his cheekbone. Your hand. Jan, can you control your anger a little? For me? Ta, I only get angry for you. Jan, then do not. It always hurt us. He didn't answer as he was. Tehong took you out for shopping and dinner. You forgave him for another time. Sitting in library, you were reading a book when Jimin appeared. Jimin, Jan, you looked up. Jimin, are you okay? Jan, yeah. Closing the book, you were leaving when he came in your way. Jimin, can we talk? Jan, no. Jimin, I will not take much time. Taehyung was in Dean's office giving explanation for yesterday. Yan, alright. You sat back and Jimin took a seat next to you. Jimin, why are you dating him? Yan, excuse me, it's not your headache. Jimin, I care for you. Yan, we met just 2 days ago. Jimin, so what? Sometimes it's only one gaze. You stared in his eyes that were clear, pure, and angelic. Yan, I love him. Why you felt your logic weak, Jimmy? Love can be toxic. A hard drawn. Yan, he is not toxic, Jimmy, but his love is. You struggle for words, Yan. You know nothing about him. He is just possessive, and things will be fine if you stay away from me. Standing up, you ended the conversation. Jimmy, what if I don't want to? He was looking at you with an unknown hope in his eyes. Yan, it's of no use, Jimin. I am his. You felt empty when you were walking far from him. You were in cafe with Taehyung. Jan, what did Dean said? Nothing new. I cannot bring in that for a few days. That was shocking for you, Jan. And after that, how can they allow weapons? He passed you a look. You are sounding like I am some mafia. Jan, just don't get in any fight. I don't want you to get hurt. Sure, baby, but I always pay off the debt. We followed his gaze and saw Jimin sitting with his friends. You put your hand on his face and made him focused on you. Jan, no fight, Taehyung, please. Don't worry, I will not die. He leaned a little, and the obsession in his eyes scared you. It was a fear that what he will do if he failed to get you. After a few days, you angrily left your place. Yan, marriage? No way, Dad. How can you decide it by yourself? Joe, relax, my overacting daughter. I am not asking you to get married by tomorrow. It is just a suggestion. Yan, I don't want to do anything till the semester ends. Joe, an engagement doesn't hurt. Yan, no. Joe, then at least a friendship. Jimin is a good boy. Now you understand what he meant by plans. Jan, what if I say I like someone else? Joe, oh, then introduce him to me if my approval matters to you. You happily hugged him. Jan, of course, Dad. I love you so much. He patted your head. Joe, more than that, boy. Jan, Dad, you whined and he laughed. Jan, come on, it's just a meeting. Taehyung didn't like the idea of getting approval of your father. Duh, exactly, it's just a meeting. And you are acting like we are getting married. Jan, that will also happen soon. Sitting on the counter, you were eating berries, your feet dangling down, and he was making dinner. He came closer to you, and you put berry in his mouth. That he, duh, to make you mine. I do not need anyone's approval. You wrapped your arms around him. Jan, for me, please. Showing about you make a puppy face. He, all right. You excitedly stepped down. Jan, I will choose a dress for you. He shook his head at your excitement. The bell rang and you happily opened the door, but your smile dropped. Jan, sir. He was the dean. Peter. Hello, Jan. Will you allow me, please? Yeah, sure. He came in and was talking with your father like they were some old friends. You had been studying in campus for 3 years and never knew about them. Someone arrived again and it was Taehyung. You hugged him and warned him to not. You, Joe. You are more handsome than how my daughter defined. Peter. Taehyung, nice to see you here too. Your heart was just about to fall in your stomach in fear of that gene. Taehyung's eyes narrowed at him. He didn't like his presence at all. It was his and your father's meeting. What was Peter doing there? Jan, Taehyung, ta. Same here, Mr. Peter. You took them to dining table. Today you had prepared everything by yourself. Joe, wait a minute. Special guests are also here. You leaned to him. Jan, Dad, why you called someone else too? It was only for Taehong. Joe, relax, sweetheart. Taehong, would you mind if my friends also joined the dinner? Now this was more embarrassing. Duh, of course not, sir. Your hats off to his patience. Mr. Park and Jimin came in. She looked at your father, who warmly met with them. He didn't show any such love for Taehong. Jimin sat next to you. Taehong poked his inner cheek, and you begged with your eyes. This was not going to end good. His dark, mysterious eyes were screaming that. You were shocked and hurt, thinking that your dad planned this intentionally to humiliate Taehong, and he is not the one to let go things easily. You were scared to your core for his reaction. To be continued. Thanks for watching and love you all.